Each person here tonight shares the same goal: hunting for a cure for CF. Some of you may be linked to CF by way of a child, relative, friend, or like me, be fighting the disease yourself. Tonight, I chose to speak out and tell you how I myself have taken the initiative to tell my story, in hopes of spreading the word and ultimately helping to make CF stand for Cure Found. Since I was young, when I was struggling with accepting the fact that I have a lifelong disease, my parents have always told me God does everything for a reason. It took time for me to realize that my reason as a CF fighter is to spread the word to others less informed. It wasn't until this past year that I really began to embrace this disease and make it my own. Last December, I was hospitalized for the first time since my initial diagnosis in 1997. This was a life-changing experience for me. Until that time, I'd kept my disease a secret. Only family and a few close friends knew of it. I've spent every day since the age of 6 burdened with breathing treatments, percussion vests, enzymes, and everything else necessary to keep myself healthy. Yet I held this truth close to my heart, for fear of judgment or misunderstanding from those that are ill-informed. I have realized that God has chosen a path for me, and upon this path, I can make a difference. This spring, I made the decision to speak out to my high school student body to reveal my truth. Since that time, I have done several speaking engagements at churches and youth programs, in addition to several fundraising efforts. I have since received numerous communications from friends and strangers alike, many of which from people who were struggling from CF or other illnesses, people who were also afraid to come forward. By reaching out, any one of us can encourage others to come forward and speak out to themselves. As we all know, this disease does not limit itself to West Michigan. I received one email from a 65-year-old man across the country who is believed to be the oldest living CF patient. He has spent his entire life keeping his disease a secret. Imagine what he could have learned from a man who has escaped the odds. In Canada, singer Celine Dion has raised millions of dollars for the fight in honor of her niece with cystic fibrosis. This past week, I was reminded once again of the far reaches of this disease. At the Unity Christian Music Festival in Muskegon, I sat before a Christian rock band. Who would think that an 18-year-old girl from a small town like Freeport, Michigan, could have anything in common with a band that came halfway across the world from Ireland? Prior to beginning their first song, the lead singer spoke about times of need for hope and faith as we carry burdens in our own lives. He spoke of how it is our faith that is what gets us through. With that, this man that stood before us told the story of his beautiful 4-year-old daughter, Lily, who has a disease called cystic fibrosis. He shared the hope that he lifts up to Christ for his daughter and others affected by this disease. My dad and I made a point to find our way backstage to introduce ourselves. By his reaching out to an entire audience, we had the opportunity to learn from and support one another. Through his tears, he shared with us the story of his own daughter and their journey together. As he told of his struggle to understand why, my dad shared with him the story of he himself, on his knees in church, begging for the same answer. In that moment, 12 years ago, my dad understood. Jesus asked the same question along his own journey. By each and every one of us stepping forward with our story of CF, whatever our journey may be, it brings awareness to a higher level in our communities, our country, and all over the world. With this awareness comes hope, understanding, and acceptance. Most importantly, with awareness comes knowledge. With knowledge comes a cure. Some knowledge, however, comes with a price. With the monies raised through Hunt for a Cure, we have been able to fund significant research through MSU, including our most recent discoveries that could help researchers around the world and potentially have a great impact on our life expectancy. Tonight is about raising money to continue these efforts. Tonight is about we in our community alone can do to increase the life expectancy of each and every one of the CF fighters in your life. Tonight is about hope and faith, and seeing that one day CF will truly stand for a cure found